as you can see, I have Hope and Megan here with me. We're at the Taylor Professional Writing Conference.
You're in the right place.
Hey. So it's, what day is today? Saturday?
Probably.
We just finished. We're a little tired. We taught a session on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yes.
we taught a session on Friday. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about how that went?
We had a really good turnout. A lot of people came. It was a lot of fun. It was our first time ever teaching a session at a conference, but I think it went pretty well. We finished just on time, and we got a lot of really good questions. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a very cool experience. I think we were all a little nervous, beforehand, but we had gone through it the night before, and we felt pretty good about it. And we were talking about writing fiction queries and proposals, which is what we've been dealing with a lot this summer, looking at a lot of clients' proposals. So I think it was definitely very helpful for the audience. So that was a lot of fun, and we got good feedback at the end from people saying we did a good job, and some of them even picked up our business cards, which was a plus. So
Conferences. I think it went really well. We kind of messed up which slide we were going to do, but it was okay because we all knew the material pretty well. It was all stuff we knew already from the internship. We just kind of had to say it. So it went well, and like Hope said, we had a really good turnout. There were a lot of good questions. And then afterward, we were kind of sitting there talking, and we're it went really well, and Professor Taylor was there, and we were we'd love to do this again. And then she said, well, we have an open session tomorrow because Caroline, one of the girls who was set to talk tomorrow, or today, she couldn't make it here, so they had an empty slot, and she said, you could take that slot. So we said, sure. So we spent all of last night kind of planning and figuring out what we were going to talk about and making a PowerPoint and running it through.
Yeah.
So that one was about the top 25 trends in the publishing market. So it was just kind of an overall everything that we said.
Yeah, so that one was a lot of fun because we covered a lot of different things. We talked about both nonfiction and fiction, and all age groups from young readers all the way up to YA and adults. So that one had a little bit smaller of a turnout just because it was a more later addition to the conference, but we had people ask really good questions in that one too, and I think the material was very relevant and very helpful for the audience in that one as well.
Yeah, and we got to promote our editing service.
Yeah!
Sherpa editing!
Sherpa!
So some people seem really interested in that, so maybe we'll get some clients.
Yeah!
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It was fun. And so, we're in Sammy right now. That's where we are located. The dorm that we are currently in, because that's where they housed us, and so...
Because AC is important.
It's hot. It's the middle of August in Indiana.
Awesome.
That's all we have for you.
Yeah. So as you can see, I'm back in my room. This is a few days later, and I figured I'd just let you know real quick how the tours went and a little bit more about the trip in general. Basically, we went on 2 publishing house tours on Monday with Kyle, and we went to see Discovery House, which is kind of a subsection of Our Daily Bread Ministries, Christian Ministries. So we got to see, and they took us on a tour of their whole facility, so we kind of went through and saw the different cubicles where people were writing and editing and stuff. And then they took us in the back where they had the big long printers, and they showed us how they have the printers who do a lot of printing materials for their devotionals and those kind of things. And then they showed us their warehouse and another one of the printing rooms with better printers but less quantity. So those had 4 color, and they showed us how they do the covers, and that was really cool just to kind of see all those machines and how that works and how books are made into physical books. So that was really neat, and that was really cool, and so we got to see Discovery House there and talk to them, and hear more about their ministry, which is really awesome. And the second publisher we went to see was Kriegel, and they're another Christian company. They do, they kind of specialize in like 3 main areas, which is like regular trade books, which is, I guess, really anything fiction, nonfiction, like regular books. Then they have their academic department, and that one is more for like textbooks and those kind of things, like teaching materials. And then finally they have their ministry department, which is more for helping out churches and pastors and those type of things with those type of materials and printing those and publishing those. So we got to talk to one of the head publishers and one of the editors for a while, and basically most of that time we were just kind of sitting and talking to them, but it was really good to see what they're looking for, and then some of the red flags that they look for in book proposals and those type of things are very similar to what we have been looking for, so it was good to know that we're on the right track there. Another thing that was really cool that happened was I talked to Kyle over lunch and I kind of pitched my book, and basically it was just like a one sentence like, oh, it's a romance about space and it's kind of sort of based on Esther, general market-ish, right? Like it was really vague because I just kind of like said it, and so he's like, oh yeah, that's cool, you should definitely pitch that to Kriegel Publications while we're there, and I didn't manage to slip it in while we were there. So afterward I was like, well, I'll just send it to you anyway so you can look at it. I'll send it to your email. He told me to send it to him real fast because he pitched it to them while we were taking the tour. So I readjusted it and I printed it, or I emailed it to him, and so I sent him my book proposal, and he may or may not be sending it to Kriegel, so that's really exciting. So there was actually one more thing I wanted to add. My camera is having issues, which is why I'm using my phone camera now, because the battery keeps dying, and I can't figure out how to recharge it, so I've been trying to change the batteries. It's a whole big thing. I'll figure it out. But I wanted to mention that I read this. I read these 2 books. So I read this Savage Song, and I am almost done my Dark Duet, our Dark Duet, and these are both by Victoria Schwab, and they're really good. Basically, it's about when crimes are committed, it creates a physical monster as a result of this crime. So there's a couple different types of monsters, and it's just a really interesting fantasy world, because it's kind of like our time period, but it's like these monsters just kind of spring up as a result of crimes that happen during the modern day, and it just kind of gets really crazy from there. So I don't want to say much more because I don't want to spoil it, but it's very good. So I was able to listen to both of these books on audiobook while I was driving, which is why I read almost all of them while I was doing this trip, because I had like a 10-hour drive both ways. So that's how that got done. So yeah, that's about all I have. If you like this, click the subscribe button and make sure you follow me and Jory as we talk back and forth over the summer. Yeah, I guess that's really it. Bye, Jory!
Okay. Am I in the shot now?
Yes.
So it's a good count.
No!
Okay.
I think it's good stuff.
Alright. Did that work?
I think so.